Hello, this is Pastor Matthew Woods from Grace Lutheran Church in New Albany, Indiana. This is the weekly devotion for May 20th, 2024. Today's title, The Places You Will Go. It's graduation season. You know what that is. It's the transition time where one milestone in our lives gives way to the next, well, at least to our children's lives, maybe our grandchildren's lives. It's a mixture of relief, accomplishment, and disorientation. Over the years, we've seen our kids grow up. Their parents have held them, changed their diapers, fed them, shared hundreds of pictures of Insta, Snap, Tweet, Faceplant, Tumblr, whatever it is that they're doing out there, online, on the online connections with all of our people. We've been to your practices. We've been to these kids' school events, paid the dues, paid the fines, stayed up late after practice to get the science project done, dragged our kids to confirmation, and much more. We've been to the countless matches, the doctor's visits, the plays, the games, the recitals, the ceremonies, and bought the yearbooks to prove it. We've watched our grads grow from little critters to young adults, and we've argued with them. We've supported them. We have felt sad for them, frustrated for them. But we love them, and we hold a deep sense of pride for them even here at Grace. And we hope, whether you're graduating or your child is graduating from college or from high school, that the places that you go will always be a walk with Jesus. Now, no amount of bubble wrap or helmet wearing or filtered water, phone tracking, nor lip smacking can prevent life from happening, if you will. As Jesus says, we are sheep among the wolves, but we are sheep who have a powerful shepherd, right? We don't want to forget that, who goes before us wherever we go. And Jesus wants us to go places wherever we can take the gospel, wherever it can be heard. And let's just say it, the world needs Christians to share the gospel more than ever. It needs all of us. It needs our graduates. It needs you to believe in Jesus. In Matthew chapter 10, Jesus is sending his disciples out for a trial run, 2 by 2. It's kind of a short intern of sorts, if you will, maybe weeks or months long, we don't know. Jesus gives very specific directions. Verse 5 says, "Do not go among the Gentiles or enter any town of the Samaritans. Go to the lost sheep of Israel. As you go, preach this message. The kingdom of heaven is near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the leper, and drive out demons. Do not take any money with you. Take no bag on your journey or pack extra clothes." Go only to the lost sheep of Israel. What that means is that the disciples had to focus on the Israelites for now as they practiced their preaching. The message was specific to the Jews in this case. The kingdom of heaven is near. They would understand that. It would immediately bring to mind the Messiah. They are given authority to heal people and do what Jesus has been doing. And they were to depend on their hosts for food and care, which would build within them a sense of trust in the Lord, who ultimately would be the supplier of such things. But what if these disciples decided to do their own thing? How then would they have learned to trust in the Lord? What if the disciples changed the message to make themselves the most important thing? What if they said, "The Lord is here to bless you with success and comfort. You are free to do anything you want because Jesus will forgive you anyway"? What if the disciples misused their authority to heal the sick, to heal the leper, and used such miracles only for themselves as personal trophies to get themselves noticed on Instagram or Jerusalem Evening News to be famous? What if they always worried about what the people thought? What if they went the other way and they worried about what people thought of them instead of shaking the dust from their feet from the towns that rejected them, choosing instead to make people happy? How would that work out? What if, rather than preach the truth about sin and the need for Jesus, they didn't say anything at all? Well, that doesn't really work. Thankfully, the disciples followed the Lord's instructions and learned to trust in Jesus and to make a real difference in the world by preaching the gospel. This is our pattern. We win when we don't go our own way, when we're even though we're tainted by sin. What's more, we learn to trust Jesus in real life situations. We we see faith in real life active there. The Lord wants us to succeed more than anyone in life. His word gives us direction that is designed for all places we go, to be places that bless us as we bless others. There are some places we should not go, however. Just because we live as sheep among the wolves does not mean we need to play by the rules of the wolf or even hang out with the wolf. The sheep's job is to follow the shepherd, not to go where the wolf tries to lure us, to devour us. The greatest danger of the wolf is his ability to sneak up on us, to get into our heads, to diminish our courage, to compromise our faith, to bully or corner us into rejecting the Bible, wound us in our spirits, and if he can, take us down. The wolf tells us that your parents lied to you, the church lied to you, the pastor lied to you. Jesus is not real. His word is not truth. You get to decide your own moral code, your own beliefs. Christianity is dangerous and crazy. The church is just a bunch of hypocrites and liars and fakes and frauds. By the way, if that is true, then they're calling all of our families, all of the kids' families, frauds too. But the long and the short of it is they're trying to divide our kids from the Lord and from us. There is always intense pressure in the present and in the future to abandon Jesus, to condemn the Bible's teaching, and to make us more comfortable or uncomfortable in expressing faith in the public circles, and to make our church look more irrelevant and stupid or boring or a waste of time. I pray that you would remember us here at Grace better than that. I pray that all of you watching would know this better than that. Remember, the wolf looks for the sheep only as a meal, as an asset, or a gain for itself. It does not care for the sheep. It will pretend to care for us as long as the wolf's purpose is being served. The hardest part about being a young Christian, or even a seasoned one, is to know where the wolves are, to recognize their tactics. The story is told of a man walking down the street who dropped a quarter into the tin cup, being held out by a man wearing dark glasses and holding a sign reading, "Help the poor blind man." After taking a few steps, the donor turned around and was shocked to see the blind man remove his glasses and peer into the cup. The donor hurried back and angrily asked, "You're not blind?" To which the blind man replied, "No, sir, I'm not. The blind man's on vacation. I'm just taking his place. I'm usually the deaf and dumb man on the next street." What's worse, being deceived or becoming angry at this pretender, or the idea that that may creep into your head that helping people isn't worth it, right? Or that all they're doing is just taking advantage of us. What happens if those thoughts are what creep in and end up being the dominant thought? Or how about these options? The wolf gets a hold of us by stoking our emotions. The anger for the blind man, for us to feel good. This idea of feeling good being important. Or to calm a sudden guilt by giving away this money. We give to honor the Lord, though, don't we? No, not always. That's a different mindset, right? There's a competing mindset here. We saw a need and active in love for Jesus. That's what we're hoping for. What happens after that isn't why we give, okay? What happens after is not the point. I'm sure that some who were healed by Jesus wanted to be healed more than they wanted Jesus, but Jesus healed them. Even now, many want love and blessings of Jesus, but not Jesus, and certainly not the obligation of following Jesus. Joshua 1:5 tells us 3 times, "Be strong and courageous." By doing so, Joshua was a success. And so playing the shepherd's game keeps the impact of the wolf to a minimum, while at the same time making us stronger the next time the wolf makes another attack. Actually following the word and putting it into practice, practice what it teaches. It distinguishes us from the wolves, from the fakes. But that requires you to believe, and that's it. That's the important. And no one can do that for us. No one can do that for our kids going to college. It's hard work to believe in Jesus and it's harder actually to follow that word. Jesus doesn't promise easy. He is very clear about what it means to follow him, but he is also clear about what you gain by following Jesus. You have a distinct advantage over the world. You have a church family that loves you and wants the best for you, our kids. You have an eternal hope that keeps you going in a life after this world and the resurrection of Jesus. The one in you is greater than the one in the world. So we don't want to be of the world. Look, if I have a cure for cancer and I believed it would work with all of my heart, what kind of person would I be if I didn't advertise it, urge people to take it, and give it to everyone? I can't make them take it, right? But how do they even have a chance if I don't at least live up to my belief that it will save people? You have something that lasts. You have something that overcomes the world. You have the power of eternal life in your heart in Jesus. Jesus is the good shepherd who seeks out the lost sheep. He even leaves the 99 who are safe to go looking for the one that isn't. But when money or bragging rights or health are on the line, we'll go looking for all kinds of things, answers with a passion. Our prayer today is that we would have at least that same level of passion for the gospel of Jesus, and even more so, and bringing the gospel to the places where we go, that the gospel would be our defining element. Because in the end, it is the gospel that brings us to the place we all want to go, to the place with Jesus, heaven. May God bless us in this. And may God bless our graduates this year who are moving on to the next stage of their lives. May God be with them, and may God be with you. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.